After witnessing that press conference at UFC 295, I think I have an opinion just like anybody else about the matter at hand, which was what? Lackluster. Not really the most exciting. On top of that, there were some things that Tom Aspinall said that was pretty cool. He said that he has a head that is a sniper's dream, which I thought was really interesting, considering that he just admitted he's got a big head, right? And if you have a big head, then I suppose it's a lot easier for a sniper to get in contact with you. So either way, not the best press conference that you're going to get. It wasn't Nate Diaz, Conor McGregor level, the type of stuff that they can produce. What you did get out of it, though, was understanding the fact that these guys are legitimate fighters. These guys are assassins. And all this other nonsense about everything else ultimately doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because by the end of the day, you still have to get in there and fight. So that's really the main storyline of this whole entire thing that we have to talk about, right? These guys are not exactly the biggest entertainers in the world, okay? They're not those types of guys. They're not the type of guys that go out there and roar to the crowd with their, let's say, excitement level or their enthusiasm or even their charisma to a certain degree. It's just not their specialty. You got a guy like Sergey Pavlovich who comes from Russia, and unfortunately, it's quite a stereotype, and maybe there's some truth to it, that humor isn't exactly the Russian strong suit. Now, if you want to disagree with that, write on the comments below. I think that the majority of the people that would comment on that particular topic at hand is they would say, yeah, it's not really their strong suit. So what do you expect from a guy like that? Alex Pereira, the same thing. What do you get out of him? He's a guy that has no facial expression. He can be in the scariest roller coaster in the world, but will remain like this. Straight face the entire time. So you're not going to get a lot out of these guys. So now, what do you have out of Yuri? Well, we can kind of forgive him. English is not his strongest language. And he has a samurai type of persona going on, which, by the way, to some people would look at that in different ways. Some people would look at that as some sort of little kid trying to play costume. And then some would look at that as damn near cultural appropriation. Sort of like, what is this man from the Czech Republic emulating the Japanese? But of course, we all know the Japanese are not like that. I don't think they would ever call for cultural appropriation in any kind of way. It's just not in their cultural ethos to care about these things, right? It's almost like a Western issue. But nonetheless, that is the issue at hand, is that the majority of these guys, well, at least 3 of them, they're not Westerners in the traditional sense. Obviously, Alex Pereira now lives in Connecticut, I believe, up where Glover Teixeira, his training partner and coach, lives at. Okay, but he's not exactly from this culture, so he's not going to really wow you with everything else. Now, what about Tom Aspinall? Why is it that he couldn't wow you with this particular press conference when usually, if you really think about it, the English are some of the most entertaining people when it comes to not just combat sports, but entertainment in total? I mean, you look at what are some popular UK movies and TV shows. Top Boy in the modern sense right now. These are some sort of examples of that, right? They have a very exciting, I guess, urban culture, or at least a thriving hip-hop culture at that, which is what makes Top Boy a really big product in and of itself. And then you have Mr. Bean, who is sort of a classic in their country. Then you have Ricky Gervais. Then you have Gordon Ramsay, who nowadays seems to be a fan of Tom Aspinall. But nonetheless, this is the legacy of British sports and entertainment. Unfortunately, Tom Aspinall doesn't really fit all that category. You see, The psychology that I sort of pick up from Tom Aspinall is that he doesn't want to step over the line of being way too above everybody else. So he's a bit of a different kind of heavyweight, a different kind of athlete in the way that he expresses himself. For example, you look at Brock Lesnar back in the day. What are some interesting observations you could take out of Brock Lesnar? Well, for one, the guy is an absolute animal. On top of that, the guy knows how to talk, and he's not shy on letting the world know a bit of his personality, but also not really shy in letting the world know, you know what? I'm the baddest guy in the room, and I'm here to hurt people, and I'm here to do what it takes to win, and I don't really care about anyone's feelings other than my own and the victory that I'm going to obtain from it. That's Brock Lesnar in a nutshell. This right here is the quintessential American athlete mentality, which, by the way, if you have enough of that swag, enough of that trash talk and prowess in a way that you see out of